Intro right there, by the way.
Hey.
Mr. Chaponda is here in Kenya.
Yes.
Because you're going to be, what do you say? You're going to have a performance.
I'm doing two shows.
You're doing two shows?
Two shows.
When and when, brother?
So October 31st, so just tomorrow.
That is tomorrow?
That's the VIP show at Sankara. It's got, meet and greet, food.
Indeed.
After party.
Yes.
For the fancy people.
Right.
Right? For people with money.
Right.
Like if you are a DP who's having a hard week, that's the show for you.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then the next day is at Braben Theatre. That's the normal people show. Normal people show.
Delisa Chaponda, welcome to Spice Drive, brother.
Yes. Pleasure being here.
Listen, who is Dalisa Chaponda, brother? Let's go back in time because back in the day, because you're in Kenton.
Yes.
And I was in Banda. So we used to say...
we were rivals.
Yeah, yes. We used to say Kenton College has no knowledge. All they have is...
bread and porridge.
There we go. Okay.
Yes. It's also funny that I'm doing a show at Braben Theatre.
Right.
Which again, they were the rivals.
Yes.
They were the rivals.
So tell us your journey because Dalisa Chaponda, that sounds Zambian, is it?
Yes. So Malawian.
Sorry.
Malawian.
Yeah.
But again, I was born, my father was in exile.
Right.
Political.
Right.
So I grew up all over the world.
This is during Hastings Kamuzu Banda's day.
Banda.
Right.
He was one of those benevolent dictators where if you criticize him, you disappear. That's right.
Right.
And my dad did not want to disappear, so he ran.
Right.
So I grew up all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made me a comedian because you don't fit in anywhere.
I like that.
You always have a weird accent.
That's
You're
true.
always
That's so true.
And you start becoming like an outsider, which is good for comedy. Right. So I very early on found out I'm funny. I didn't know it could be a profession, but it was like my protection mechanism. They're going to bully me. Hey, make a joke. Everyone's laughing.
So as a youth, let's say in your formative years, because obviously the primary school, you spent 3 years here.
3 years.
In Kenya.
Yeah.
Where else sticks out in the top of your mind?
I was in Somalia before Kenya. And it's interesting how, you see, back then, this was the 80s, Somalia wasn't
That's true.
It was actually a place where refugees were running to.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
so
yes.
I have wonderful memories of Somalia. It was amazing. It was really sad what happened next. But when I was young, it was Somalia, Kenya, and then Swaziland. I spent a lot of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there, Swaziland as a youth.
Yes.
So no memories of the reed dances et al., no?
I watched one reed dance. All of us went to reed go. Yes, all of us went once, and unlike the king, we couldn't pick someone to be their wife.
Right.
But I were blown. My mind was blown. At 13-year-old, and women have their breasts out. We were so.
Oh, you were 13, were you?
Yeah.
So what was that? Was that like mandatory? Is that like a national event, or do we just let's go?
It's every year. It's every year, and it's again if someone has connections, and someone who I knew had connections, so we ended up there,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we do our tour of Southern Africa. Then where does Delisa go from there?
Then I go to university in Canada.
Wow.
And that's where I discover comedy.
Wow. The French-speaking part or the...
I was in the French-speaking part. I was in Montreal.
Right.
I was in an English university, but in French Canada.
Right.
And I was studying computer programming.
Wow.
Even though I wanted to be a writer. But, my family were like, you're crazy. What are you doing?
Yes.
But there's a thing there called Just for Laughs Festival. Right? And I watched comedy stand up for the first time. And it blew my mind. Because I'd written fiction. But when you write a short story, you write it. And someone in a month will say, I liked it. But comedy, you get the feedback instantly.
Wow.
You can talk about any wild thing. You can talk about politics. You can talk about sex. You can talk about whatever stress.
Yes.
To me, it's the most free art.
Right.
Because you can do whatever you want with it. So I tried it.
Yes.
I did well at it.
Yes.
And I was like, the moment I was on stage, I was like, oh, this is what I'm for. I don't know if anyone else has had that moment where you didn't know what your purpose was in life and then you do something and you're like...
I like that, by the way. So you took to it like a duck to water.
Yes.
And this is where in campus, what, 18, 19, 20?
Oh, no. I was 19 years old.
Right.
20 years old. So my first show was 22.
Wow.
My first proper show, not open mic. First proper show is 22. I'm 44.
Yes.
So it's now half my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So there you are in campus, and then suddenly you go and watch this, and you're like, because you're writing.
Yes, but I was writing like stories, but I was like, let me try this. Let me try to write something funny. And then I tried it the next week at an open mic. I invited all my friends and it went really well, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I did like a funny poem, a funny song. I was just trying, but I enjoyed it well enough that I came back the next week, and then gradually started researching, watching like Richard Pryor and watching.
You see, I was just
all
about to
the
ask
greats.
you. Yes.
Because because I was an academic,
Right.
I was like, I must study this comedy the same way I'm studying computer programming.
So here's this computer programmer who's also a part-time author. Then he takes to comedy like a duck to water.
And then by the time I was doing my first internship after university.
So we graduated.
Yes.
Very good.
And then my problem was I now enjoyed comedy more. And so I was like, this internship, I'll be upset. I'm
Right.
going to gamble and throw myself entirely into comedy.
Wow.
And that's when I took the risk. And I moved to the UK.
Right.
I was helped by the fact my brother lived there.
Right.
So I was living rent-free
Yes.
in the spare room.
Right.
Which gave me the space to go perform wherever.
Yeah.
Because look, the first...
Where about in the UK?
So this was Manchester.
Okay.
Manchester.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
So I'll admit, look, the first years of being an artist,
Yes.
the pay is low.
Yes.
So you need help,
Right,
right? So I had the
right.
help of my family. By the time I got good and started getting paid well, I
Right.
had that buffer zone where I was relying on help.
Right. Wow. And then after the first year, when was it off to the races?
Oh, long time. I mean, I would only say I became famous, quote unquote, 2017. So that's like,
Whoa, like 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's when I became like...
Daliso.
Yes. I already was...
Internationally acclaimed, world famous.
Yeah, it's a different level. So they're levels. People always think there's overnight success. No,
Right.
you go up in gradations.
Yes.
So at first I was just a comedian. Then I was a comedian doing other countries. Like I had done things like the Churchill Show before doing the Britain's Got Talent.
Right.
But I'm saying Britain's Got Talent is where I now have strangers meet me every day who know
Right.
me. You know what I mean? I have 100 million people who've watched a video online. It's a different level. And it opened the door to me doing television shows and stuff.
And what year did you enter BGT?
That was 2017. It was the thing that changed it.
And how did that come about, Delisa?
I got tired of doing auditions, and if you're an actor or a comedian, you're auditioning every week.
Right.
And not getting stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of one where even the audition is airing. So even if they don't like it, people
Somebody
watching will be watching like it. And then I went there. I got the golden buzzer, which gets you through to the final. I got an agent. I got like so many things erupted from that one little moment.
Right.
And it's so crazy because I didn't go in expecting that much.
Wow. And how far did you get in BGT?
I came third.
Wow. So that's when the sterling started rolling in, eh?
That was it. Like it's so funny. If you look at the photo albums,
Right.
If I don't tell you, you can still be able to guess when I became successful.
Right.
Because the outfits changed,
yes.
the car changes, the house changes, like everything changed in 1 year.
So where's Daliso based now?
So I'm based in the UK. So I'm based in England, but I tour the world.
Okay.
So like even coming to Kenya as part of in COVID, I realized it didn't make sense that I'm more well-known in Africa than the UK.
Yes.
But I mainly perform in the UK. So I said, if this COVID nonsense ever ends, I'm going to do more African shows. And this is what
so here we are. So is it just a Kenya tour or are we doing an African tour?
No. So I've already done this year Seychelles.
Yes.
I've done Tanzania. I've done South Africa. So what I'm doing now is whenever I do a new show, I do a UK.
Right.
But then I also do some African countries.
Okay.
So it's interesting because there's no culture of one-man shows here.
Right. That's true.
Right?
That's
here,
very true.
when you think comedy, you think 12 people at Churchill or 5 people. And so this is me trying to show people that I think the best comedy is when it's a one-man show.
I like that.
Because, if you see me for 5 minutes, I'm just saying, hello, how are you? Here's a few jokes.
Yes.
But if you watch someone like if you watch Chris Rock, you don't want to watch 10 minutes. You want to watch the whole hour.
Yes, exactly.
So that's what I'm trying to program people with this show.
Right.
And I'm going to be bringing a different show every year.
Right.
Because again, here, I think people repeat jokes. So
That's so true.
I've had to be telling people,
so
everybody
true.
listening, if you have seen me before, these are different jokes.
Right.
Every year I will come with different jokes And that's the relationship you build with the audience.
I love that. Delisa Chaponda, man, is in Nairobi Kesho, which is the 31st. We shall be at Sankara. Do we know the ticket prices there, Delisa?
Yes. So the ticket price at Sankara for the VVIPs
Yes.
is 10,000.
Start time, my brother.
Start time 7:30.
Uh-huh.
It'll begin just after the fireworks for Diwali.
Right.
And
so
then
there's dinner, there's the full shebang.
There's food, there's
Right.
a after party,
Okay.
there's music, there's meet and greets.
Yes.
And then also you can request subjects for me to do jokes about.
Oh, okay.
Right? So the one at Braben's great show, but I'm bringing my show.
Okay.
The one at Sankara, you can say, hey, I
Okay.
want to hear a joke about divorce.
Okay,
I'm
no,
going through a
just hold
divorce.
on, hold up. Let's
Details.
let's try this.
Yes.
Our tax regime.
Yes.
It's increasing every day.
Oh,
Give us a joke about high taxes, brother.
about high taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what the problem is. With the taxes, they take a percentage, right?
Yeah.
But the country is falling apart.
Yes.
Right? So what I think is fine to pay taxes,
Right.
but your government ministers,
Yes.
the way they roll must reflect
Right.
the wealth in the country.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
So I think when you've got an entourage
Yeah.
and your country has a lot of poverty,
There we go.
we want broken down cars in the entourage.
Come on.
We want the motorcade
Yes.
to be pausing because there's no petrol.
There we go.
I want a realistic reflection. You can't be showing swag when you're struggling.
I like that. And imagine that was just off the cuff, straight off the
And
bat
I
like
spoke
that.
very carefully because I know here that
Why?
hey,
My friend.
Hey.
Shh. Let's not go there.
Let's not go.
So that's tomorrow, VIP, meet and
VIP.
greet.
Yes.
Okay. Fireworks, Sankara, Diwali, dinner, meet, just, well, man, so you've got to be there, Sankara, from 7 p.m., ne?
Yes.
And then the next day is the 1st
Next
of November.
day, 1st of November.
Braben
that's Braben Theatre.
Gitanga Road.
That has tickets from 2,500 to 4,000, depending on where you want to sit.
Yes.
And great show. It's going to be 90 minutes.
Right.
Talking about all sorts, whatever's going on in the world. I'm going to talk about Trump.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about P. Diddy.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about whatever's going on. I'm going to talk about your own DP.
Yes.
Whatever's going on in Kenya or in the world is going to come up because I think comedy, we laugh at problems. That's what we talk about.
Daliso Chaponda is in the studio, man. He's done SA, he's done the Seychelles, he's done TZ. Now he's just finished off in the UK. Started off in Manchester, by the way, back in the day when he went to live with his brother. He's done the UK tour, now he's here. Kesho na Kesho Kutwa. You've got to get your tickets. Daliso, how do you get the tickets there, brother?
You can go to bookingkiosk.com. So booking-kiosk.com.
Yeah.
But like, if you forget that, just go on Facebook or
Yes.
anything and put in my name, and you'll see all the links.
All right. So Dalisa's in. He's going to be on stage tomorrow and the day after. Kesho, it is at Sankara from 7 p.m. and then the day after, that's 10,000 bob, by the way, for tomorrow, dinner inclusive. And there's a whole lot. It's the VVIP or the full shebang. Then the next day is at Braben Theatre, which is obviously on Gitanga Road.
And I'll
90
also
minutes.
tell you that I will say that Kenyans, you stress out your artists because people
What
here
are you
buy
talking?
last minute.
Yes, which
This
is
is
very
the
true.
most last minute place
Yes.
I've ever been. Malawi, before I'm on the plane,
You know what's cooking.
I know what's cooking. Here, I never know. I never know. I'm like, will I be alone with the audience? Will the room be packed? But last time I came, it was sold out. So I have faith, but it's still stressful.
Let's get to know Delisa, man. 0719012600 Spice FM KE. What are your handles there, by the way, Delisa?
So it's at Daliso Chaponda everywhere.
Okay.
At Daliso on TikTok, on Tinder, on Facebook. I'm on everything.
Now, obviously, you know how to spell Daliso, ne? Daliso. Chaponda is CHAP.
Yes.
ONDA.
Yes.
Come on.
Delisa
So on all of them, you're on TikTok, all of them, it's at
TikTok,
Delisa Chaponda.
Facebook.
We're going to go back in time, by the way, with
Yes.
Daliso when we get back. Next, Kenton College has no knowledge. All they have is bread and porridge. He also, imagine Mogadishu back in the day, which he says back then, it was Said Barre, I think,
Yeah.
was the president. Ne?
Yes, that's right.
And before he was disposed by the ideas of this world. Imagine Mogadishu was better than Kenya. Oh, say it ain't so. And then he goes off finally various cities, countries within the continent that is Africa, and then even away. His brother's in the UK, in Manchester. He goes off to Montreal to study computer programming. One fine day, he walks into a comedy club, and the rest, as they say, is his story.
Yes.
If you live stream, obviously you live stream by going on to spicefm.co.ke. I think I got that correct. You look at the face, it's like, oh, hold on, that voice sounds familiar, and that face I seen on TV somewhere. Not here. Somewhere. And Simon Cowell was there. Yeah, man, you probably saw him on Britain's Got Talent.
Yes, that was the one most people recognize.
Right, from that one, right?
What's even funny is sometimes people don't know.
Daliso, you see now, you always cut me off. In studio.
Yes. I'm used to being the host. I don't know how to wait.
The man. You've got to watch him tomorrow, man. It's got to be at the Sankara. There's the full shebang. It's the VIP.
Yes.
All right. Dinner, meet and greet. By the way, he'll even curate a joke for you, by the way. Seriously. That's tomorrow on Furahi Day. Braben Theatre, Gitanga. Tomorrow's 10,000 pop, by the way. Only. I'd like to say. Must put the only. Ne?
Only.
And then on Furahi Day, Braben Theatre, Gitanga Road, 90 minutes. Let us appreciate and savor the talents of, we like to own you now, brother.
Yes. I've never leave.
Delisa Chaponda. Welcome, boss. Welcome back, Black.
Yeah.
Now, as we were talking when Mariah was busy singing, now, Delisa, you were supposed to be here in June.
Yes, I was meant to be here in June, and then we postponed the show because of
the Gen Zs were doing
their thing.
Right.
I realized when I got here, because I still had the air ticket, we shouldn't have cancelled because you guys, there was this going on, but people were still going out. I was like, you guys are different in Kenya.
That is during the day.
During the day.
At night, you chill.
At night, you chill. I thought it was going to be shut down. So since I was here, I went to a local comedy club, Laugh Bar.
Right.
Just did a small show, just like a little taster.
Right.
And it was so amazing. I was like, look, forget waiting till next year. I'm coming back later this year.
Right. Listen, brother, you've been doing it for 22 years.
Yes.
But as you said, man, and you listen also to the likes of the Dave Chappelles of this world, the Trevor Noahs. It's the small clubs, and you do the grind. Not everyone gets to the tip of the spear. And as you said, it's BGT.
And I feel like here, I've actually experienced both sides.
I like that.
Because I've done Churchill show 3 times. I did Night of 1,000 Laughs. So that's the big version with your big stars.
Right.
But I also enjoyed, when I did this Laugh Bar, I saw your upcoming comedians.
Yes.
I was very impressed by Justine Wanda.
Right.
She's one of the stars of the future. And there was a guy, I forget his name. Wait, let me just check his name.
Right.
The guy was Maina Murumba, was also very impressive.
Right.
So it's always nice to see the people who you're like, oh, in the future, these guys are going to be the headliners.
I've got to ask you, and please don't give me because you're kind of like a diplomat.
I'll give you the honest answer.
Are we funny?
Yes.
Kenyans were funny, yeah?
Kenya has loads of amazing comedians.
Right.
I think the only places which have a big comedy circuit in Africa is Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria.
Pass. I like that.
But partly it's also because you have money.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
People can pay for tickets and go. Malawi, even though I'm famous in Malawi, I have to have my show on payday. If I have my show 1 week away from payday, people are like, we wanted to come, but we have nothing.
But listen, I've got to ask, when you put it like that, I like that.
Yeah.
But I've got to ask, have you gone to those countries where you look at people and like, or those places you're like, these people are just funny people because of the way they behave.
Kenya has funny people. You have funny. Everyone complains. Literally, my Uber driver was giving me a political lecture.
There we go.
About what is going on in the country, and I was like, I didn't expect this was coming with the car.
And this is from the airport.
From the airport.
Okay, now listen. Let's sidetrack a bit.
Yes.
You're also an author.
Yes.
Because I remember you said your comedic career started. I mean, you were there writing and then somebody just started cracking jokes.
Yes.
What's that about? And when you say fiction,
the dream, when I was, if you talk to me at 15, was I wanted to be like a Wole Soyinka, or like I wanted to be like one of the big African authors. So that was the dream.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say Jeffrey Archer. Good one, though. Okay.
No. Yeah. So someone like that, or Ben Okri, or someone like that, right?
Yeah.
Who's the big one here?
Gugi Wathiongo.
Gugi, exactly.
Yes.
So I wanted to be one of these big African authors.
Right.
But the talents God gives you aren't necessarily what you thought.
Oh, amen.
Right?
Amen,
and
brother.
I've always been funny.
Yeah.
So I was there trying to do deep things, but the things which worked was always the funny scene.
Yes.
And then our graduate was like, oh, okay, I was actually born to be a clown. Yes. That's my talent.
Yes.
And so I switched.
Right.
But I still I've written a funny novel which is coming out next year.
All right.
Yeah.
Can you next year is like 2 months away, Baba.
Yes.
It's like
so it's going to be out July next year.
All right.
July next year. And it's really great because it's returning to I actually wrote it in COVID.
Okay.
So there was no live entertainment, so I got back into it.
Okay, so are you still in NDA territory? Or you can tell us the working title.
No, I can tell you it's called Page Divers,
okay.
And it's for young adults.
Right.
Sort of like a Harry Potter kind of thing.
Right.
But it's a funnier version. So,
Delisa. Now, obviously, well, not obviously, but I'm Kenyan.
Yes.
Yeah, and like you said, when you talk about talent, you say Kenya here we've got talent, which is true.
Yes.
But when you talk about the tips of the spear,
yes.
If I think South Africa, I would think Trevor Noah.
Yes.
Then he carried that guy who's like his handbag, and we're not disparaging him.
Yes.
I think it's a Zim guy.
Oh, from Uganda.
Yeah, it's a Ugandan guy.
Yes,
What's that chap's name? Anyway, that guy, David. Okay?
David Kubuka.
And then also there's another chap that also comes from Uganda.
Yes, Salvador. I will tell you a little secret about Salvador.
Yeah.
Salvador is the comedian in Africa I am most worried about going on after. He is too funny.
Stop the
I'd
press.
rather go after Trevor Noah. I'm telling you,
the hell
Salvador is, if Salvador had a less thick accent,
yes,
he would be globally the biggest. But it's hard for people in America or
to understand
him. But he's the funniest.
You see, I was leading up to that, and you just cut me off for the pass. Oh, seriously,
he's a monster. You can't follow him.
Why are Ugandans so funny? That's what I want to say. Because
yes, you're right. There's Anne Kansime.
Yes, yeah.
I think they just have Cotilda. They've got problems.
Yeah, thank you. Do people find humor when we are, you grew up in Mogadishu. So would we expect that now if you basically land in Kismayu, you find a lot of people you've got to find humor in something.
That's how you cope.
The coping mechanism.
It's how you cope.
Speaking of coping, David, okay, so tomorrow, I'm assuming, we don't want your fans, especially your groupies, knowing where you stay.
Yes.
But the performance, the gig, is at Sankara.
I'll even tell the groupies, I am staying at Sankara, okay, right? So the groupies can come to the show, right? And you know what I mean? Like they can make their pitch.
Right.
They can make their pitch. I've got engagement ring.
Right.
If the right groupie makes the pitch, I'm going to England next week with someone.
I love it. Are we still based out of Manchester, bro?
I'm still based out of Manchester.
Okay, the Salford area, is it?
No.
Okay.
As my career has got better, I've moved to better areas.
I love Listen. So what's the process? What does David Chaponda do before?
Daliso.
What does Daliso do? Sorry, before we go on there.
Well, I was just a comedian for many years.
Uh-huh.
I had day jobs. You know what I mean? Not very glamorous day jobs.
Yeah.
And I just got better and better until such a time that I was able to get an agent. And then that was it.
No, but honestly, like tomorrow night, what do you do? Is it what's your warm up?
Oh, you mean like for my warm up?
Yes,
no. So
what's your routine?
As soon as I read newspapers, I read blogs, I read Twitter trending topics in Kenya,
right?
And I start writing jokes,
right?
And then I also ask people global things which are big to them,
right?
Like so, I say, are people in Kenya talking about Didi?
Yes.
Are people in Kenya talking about Putin, or are they talking about Trump?
Yes.
And then I curate a show And then also, I watched the video of last time I was in Kenya, so I know the jokes not to do.
Right.
And then I curate a show for the people here, and it's a lot of preparation, but it's really worth it.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you know? And you've met these guys, and obviously being industry, okay?
Yes.
Media entertainment. A lot of people say that a lot of the comedians that you've mentioned, some of the names.
Yes.
Their stage persona.
Yes.
And the way they are in real life is like chalk and damn cheese.
Yes.
Oil and water.
It's a character. Like in talking to you, I've not been cracking jokes every second.
Nope.
Right?
Yes.
I've just been answering questions.
Yes.
It's a thing you can turn on, right?
Yes.
But I think there are a few people who are the same on and off stage.
Right.
But most people, it's a curated thing. You put it on, you write jokes.
Yes.
You act more confident, you act more offensive. Like literally, I've told a joke to like the King of England, right?
King Charles.
Yeah, like we're friends. In normal life, you think I could talk to him like that?
You see the way he did that? Huh? I cracked it up for Charles. We're friends. Well, Delisa is now my friend. We're going to get to know him more after the news, which is next. The road, clearly that's Braeburn School. On Friday, by the way, ticket prices there, 4,000 to 6,000 bob. In Kenya. All right, last time he was here was in June. You guys were expressing your damn selves. He's here one more time, and he's got those two events, Kesho na Kesho Kutwa. Please, man, let's show some appreciation for Daliso. Chaponda's in the building, bro.
Fantastic. Good to be here. Good to be here. I also have just been seeing on Twitter that Ruto has proposed Diwali be a public holiday. So you're going to need something to do.
Oh yes.
Come to my show, public holiday.
On public holiday.
We'll have some Diwali jokes. I'll throw in some.
Do you when you do Diwali jokes, will you do the accent?
Oh, no. I can't do the accent. To be fair, if I could do it well, I wouldn't do it. There would be no shame. You
know, I find it when you try and do an Indian accent, sometimes they take it personally.
No, you've got to do it well. I think that's the thing. It's like
if you do it properly, you're okay.
If you do it properly, it's a compliment.
I love that.
But if you do it's bad. It's an insult.
Speaking of people and the love, Naibe, Kimere, you say good to you. Chaponda, beautiful evening, amazing show. What a Wednesday. Zaxi. You say hi to Chaponda.
Hello.
Hi. Hey. Listening live from Busia. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Yes, Busia is along the border, western border.
Also, people are saying hi. You should be willing. Ask me any questions. I will answer.
Be careful.
No, even they can ask me about their problems. I will solve them.
Daliso.
Yes.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Yes. Hey, it's from your mouth. You've put it there, and it's now there.
It's now there.
Yes.
It's now there. Okay, the questions are coming.
You know. And Julia Siamo says, that guy's comedy is lit.
Fantastic.
All right. And listen, so get on there. 0719012600 and Spice FM KE, and all in the spirit of Diwali. Daliso said, listen, this is from him to you. He wants to give away 2 tickets. He is giving away 2 tickets to Friday's show. Let's be clear. Friday's show is at the Braeburn Theatre, Braeburn School, Gitanga Road. All right? A couple of tickets. And all you've got to do is easy peasy, come and easy. Mention the school that Daliso went to here in Nairobi.
Nairobi.
Yes.
I've never heard that. I like it.
Me, I was in Banda. He was in the other one. What school did Daliso go to here in Nairobi? 0719012600. Or we're also posting it here on the socials, ne? And then and then the first person to get it correct is hizo tickets za Friday Ichako. What school did Daliso go to here in Nairobi? We had we used to say these guys, they have no knowledge. All they have is bread and porridge. Was that true, by the way?
We did have a lot of bread and porridge.
Listen, I've got a couple of questions.
Yes,
people have asked you, Daliso, okay? You've told us how you warm up for show. But then, what is Daliso's favorite thing about going on tour?
My favorite thing about going on tour is you get to see crazy places you've never imagined. So like this year I did Seychelles.
Yeah.
I went to, I was doing cruise ships.
Right.
And so I went to places in Europe like Croatia where I never expected. So you get to see the world.
Right. And are you, do you go down the well-trodden beaten path, or do you tell the tour guide, listen, let's do the offbeat things?
Oh no, I will ask like a local.
I like that.
And I'll say, you take me to the place where real stuff is going on.
I like that. Because, you're Kenyan, man.
Also, if you travel far and then you end up in 5-star hotel and that's all you see, you've not seen the country. So you've got to see the real thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
When you've got to ask every comedian, and that's not an easy gig, boss. You stand on a stage, there's a crowd, and you're literally, if you're an actor.
Yes.
If you're in a comedy,
yes,
you'll hope you hear them. You hear the audience laugh.
Yes,
but you're performing against somebody.
Yes, okay? It's like tennis.
So, yes.
And if I swing and they don't laugh, it means I missed.
But as a comedian, there you are. You've got your microphone. If you've got your stool, you're there. You're looking into the crowd, and you're basically, literally reacting off them. Tell us about that night you froze, bro. Your lowest one
Yes,
ever.
Lowest one, I made a big mistake.
Yeah.
I invited a woman to come watch me at the show.
Damn.
Right, as a date.
Yes. Ooh.
I start doing my jokes, and in the middle, I'm about to do a joke, and I just think, oh, this is a very misogynistic joke. I don't think she'll be happy. The date's not going to go well.
Right.
So I didn't do the joke. But then, because I didn't do the joke I was meant to do, I forgot my whole show.
Right. Wow.
And it messed up my whole show. I would have been better to just do the misogynistic joke and apologize later.
Right.
Oh, it was terrible. But I did spin it.
Good.
After the show, I said to her, I was so nervous to be performing in front of you.
Come on.
That I lost my jokes. That's never happened before.
So wink, wink, we won.
Spin.
You're right.
You've got to spin in your life, not just politics. Spin your life.
So David, Daliso, that's the low light.
That was the low. Oh, it was rough. It was rough.
What is Daliso's highlight thus far?
Highlight.
When you tell your story,
yes,
I would sit here and say, this guy performed for King Charles. They even had a tete-a-tete because he was fortunate enough to do the Prince's Trust. That's the Royal Albert Hall.
Royal Variety.
Royal Variety, right?
Royal Variety show.
So the Royal Variety show, and that's huge as well.
I'll tell you what's interesting is the ones which sound good if it's an interview or a resume would be Royal Variety, British Got Talent, stuff like that. But the one which meant the most to me was the first time I did a one-man show in Malawi.
I was about to bring that up.
Literally, they all thought I was crazy. Wow. I remember they used to say, are you studying creative poverty? Wow. People they didn't take me seriously, any of my family. So the first time I did a sold-out show in Malawi, I was at the top of the world. My parents were in the audience, like the people I went to school were in the audience. For me, that was the peak.
That makes me smile, brother. Yeah. So have we, obviously you live in the UK, you're a resident there, but have we gone back to our roots?
Yes. So I come back. Look, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
If I can make what I make in the UK in Africa, of course I'd live in Africa. Yeah. It's more beautiful, it's hot, it's like you've got space, you've got culture, my people are here.
Sure.
But right now, as an entertainer, there's a reason why the biggest entertainers in Africa move. It's sad, but Trevor Noah went to America, I went to the UK.
Yeah.
But we're trying to build it. So I think in 10 years, there'll be enough of a circuit in Africa that you'll find that you can make a good living here.
Daliso, I've got to ask you an unfair question. Because comedy is different. There you are, you're saying you got a lot of inspiration from the likes of Richard Pryor.
Yes.
And then, of course, the next era comes the Eddie Murphys of this world.
Yes.
Then after that comes that's the Chris Rocks. Then
Chris Rocks. Then now it's Kevin Hart. People like that.
And then now there's David Chappelle. But if you look at all of those individuals, bro, and then we as Africa, we want to own our own.
Yes.
Okay? And like I said, you're literally there at the tip of the spear. Do you find that in terms of African comedians, do we represent ourselves globally well enough?
There are funnier comedians in Africa than a lot of the ones who you've just mentioned.
Yeah.
There are some insanely funny people in Africa.
You mentioned Salvador.
Yeah, I mentioned Salvador. But the problem which I find a lot of people do, and I feel like I'm telling people the code, is a lot of them only talk about their country.
Thank you.
You need to talk about everything.
I wanted it to come from your lips to my ears. Yes.
The guys here are so funny when I did Churchill, but I was like, it's interesting. If you are watching this in England or France, you'd have no idea what you're talking about. So I think more of the funny people here need to talk about universal subjects like family. Everyone's got a grandparent. Everyone's been in love. Everyone's had a child. Talk about that.
Right.
And then you can do the world.
Right.
Right. And I think that's the thing. And I also think some of it's lack of ambition.
Wow.
Because there's some brilliant acts, and then
you've got to be cruel to be kind. I like that, though.
No, but then literally, there was a guy told him he was brilliant. I was like, why don't you come to England? And he was so humble. He was like, no, you can do that. You're well educated. I can't. I was like, what are you talking about? Funny is funny. Funny, there's no degree. You know what I mean? You are funny. The people are laughing till they're crying. You must go. And there's some people. There's a guy, Clint the Drunk, who I worked with.
Yes.
He's very funny, but he's too humble. He's too humble. I was like, you need to know that you are funnier than most people I've ever met.
Right. And women love funny guys.
This is why we became funny. This is why I don't have pecs. I don't go to the gym, but I will make you laugh about your problems. That is my pitch to the ladies.
So it's true. It is true. It is true.
Yes. It's like you've got the choice of that beautiful guy who's got the muscles.
Right.
But yeah, it's great. But you're still stressed.
A good sense of humor.
You go out with me, I make you laugh.
Right.
Yes. I've noticed, as I get older, that gets more important.
Yeah.
So when I was in my 20s, I didn't do well because that's not what young women are looking for. But women who have had a hard time, who are divorced or life is hard, they're like, comedian, yes, please.
Now, Daliso, obviously the people who watch BGT.
Yes.
They watch BGT. But you find that when we talk about Daliso, it's like when he lands in country, then we see him on the stage. Are we branching out? Because, obviously you're an author as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But, you find like your good friend from down south, he did that TV stint.
Yes. So I
forget the show. Yes.
He did Daily Show, Trevor.
That one.
So I'm on shows. I just think it's unfortunate. I don't think they're available across Africa. So I've got shows on Amazon Prime.
Wow.
I don't know if people have Amazon Prime here.
The wise ones do.
The wise ones do. So I've got shows.
Right.
I've got shows you can watch. I'm on BBC. I've got a radio show which you can listen to anywhere in the world.
It's just the Delisa Chaponda show.
No, it's called Citizen of Nowhere.
Okay.
Right.
Good title.
Because I grew up everywhere.
I like that.
Everywhere.
I like that. That's the one on the Beeb?
That's on the BBC, and you can listen to it on BBC Sounds app anywhere in the world. Okay. Right? And so, that's how my parents listen to it. But
Sorry, Citizen of Nowhere or anywhere?
Citizen of Nowhere.
Oh, I love that.
Nowhere. Yes. And it's actually how I feel. Right. Even though I'm Malawian, born here, but I feel like I'm everything because there are 14 countries.
Such a brilliant title, yeah.
So I've got stuff there, but I feel like I need to be on a platform which people in Africa listen to because, even Netflix.
Yes.
I don't think it's everywhere. I don't think so. I've got a project we're working on, but even then, I'm like, there will be some countries, but it won't necessarily be in Malawi
yes.
So I actually think that I probably need to do a YouTube show or something where if you are in Tanzania or you're in Kenya or you're in Egypt, you can watch it. But look, again, like always, it's business. We've got to figure out how to monetize it. But I think that Africa needs a show which everyone can watch.
And then Gio, when you say everyone can watch, I find that skipping, I was trying to be politically correct. Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know how to say it. I'll say this. Comedians use metaphors a lot.
You're right.
Best example I can think of is when Robert Mugabe was still running Zimbabwe. There's a comedian from Zimbabwe.
Right.
Called Carl Joshua Ngube, very funny guy. And I was like, how do you manage?
Yes.
And he says, I don't do jokes about Mugabe, I do jokes about the Lion King.
Wow.
And when he's talking about Mufasa, everyone in the audience says, I got you. So that's what we do. We hide it. We hide it.
Right.
We hide it.
Right.
That's what we do.
But you see now, music is an international language, brother.
Yes.
All right.
Music is it.
But comedy, do you know, like when you go on tour, I mean, you're like a citizen of nowhere.
Yes.
But does nowhere include, like, do we go and perform in the Far East?
Yes, I've done Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand. I do everywhere.
Brilliant.
I do everywhere. And I think this is the interesting thing is the world is smaller than it used to be because of things like YouTube.
Yeah, that's true.
So everyone's watching the same clips and everyone's aware that Trump said something ridiculous yesterday.
Yeah.
And everyone knows the same things we're struggling with.
Right.
I wrote a joke about P. Diddy.
Yeah.
I can do that in Australia or Gambia or Peru. It's like everyone's into the same stuff nowadays.
This is before or after he was
No, I'm saying about this, about the chiching. No, the jokes are, I'm just saying like that's in my current show.
Oh, good one.
Because how can you not talk about the man who found with 1,000 bottles of baby oil? I don't even understand. Like, are you trying to start a factory? Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just one of those things like the language barrier is an issue sometimes.
Right,
so like Tanzania was hard.
I can imagine because we're in English.
Yeah. So I didn't realize it was such a low population who speak English. So now I've got to be careful where I choose to go.
When was that?
So I did that last year, right? And it was very interesting because I was like, wow, we were in Dar and
na Kiswahili chako ni zero. You know,
it was just expats. I was like, it's like I've not left England. The audience is just English people. What the hell is this?
you know, we've got a tribe here. Obviously, you've spent some time here. Yeah. You know, we've got a tribe here called the Luo.
Yes.
Yes. And ironically, they've half of them are like in Mombasa.
Okay.
Don't ask me what they went to do there. Yeah. But none of them can speak English. Okay, sorry. None of them can speak Swahili.
Okay, they only speak Luo, right?
And English.
And English.
Okay. That one, a no. And it's taught in school, by the way.
Yes.
Okay, it's mandatory. But Swahili was a no. So so it was you and the expats.
Yes, exactly. And it was one of the, I've gone around the world. And I'm performing for British people. This is ridiculous. And because again, you want to perform for the locals. You've researched local things, and then these British people don't even know. Like I found out the local stuff, and they don't know.
Right.
So it's very interesting. So the only barrier is language.
Okay.
Right.
What passport does Daliso carry?
I have two.
Question here.
I have two. Okay,
so obviously one is British.
Yes, one is British, one is Malawi. So when I was coming here, I flew on Malawi.
Yes.
When I'm going across UK, but I will say...
Why? Does that depend on the queue at the airport, at immigration?
No. It depends on, honestly, how xenophobic that country is. Like, so
really?
if I'm going to Germany...
Yes.
I need to be British, okay?
Yes.
Okay, they don't even know where Malawi is on the map.
Right. Exactly, yeah.
And I will say that you realize when you get a different passport how hard it is having an African passport. I used to be stopped in every airport, asked questions.
That's true, by the
Now
way.
I just walk through.
Yes,
and it shouldn't be like that.
Yes,
it shouldn't be. I'm still the same person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, Daliso, I know you got to go.
Yes. It's been fantastic.
What can paint that picture tomorrow for me, brother? Okay. So somebody's sitting there. They're trying to contemplate whether we should buy for. They're doing that icky picky ponky.
Yes.
Should I do the Thursday? Should I do the Friday? Better yet, can I do both? I know the performances are basically, aside from the extras, are going to be the same.
Yes.
What can we expect?
Okay, so tomorrow VIP, you arrive at Sankara, best hotel, right?
Yeah.
You go up to the rooftop, beautiful view.
Yes.
Right? You've got you have some champagne if you're that way inclined. You have some hors d'oeuvre, right?
There we go.
You sitting by the pool.
There we go.
Right, the show starts.
Yeah.
I'm among you.
Come on.
Right, so I'm not on stage. I'm going to have a roving mic, and I'll be walking around people's table, talking to you, talking to your wife, talking to your side chick, and finding out why your wife has been left at home. All right, and asking you questions.
Right.
It's personalized, and then afterwards there's an after party.
I like
so
that.
it's one where it's the whole evening.
I like that.
Right, it's
I like
your
that.
full experience.
Right.
And then the one the next day is you go in
on Friday at the Braben
at
Theatre.
Braben Theatre.
Yeah.
That's one where you bring your workmates.
Yes.
Right?
I like
6
that.
of you sit
Yes.
together.
Yes.
You get drunk.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes. Yes.
And then you watch the show
Right.
and you party. So I think that's the difference of the experiences. If you want it to be like a romantic event or something,
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
But if it's
it's you and 4 of
gents,
your
yes.
the guys' night out,
Yes. It's
ladies'
Friday.
night out, Friday.
I love that. And remember, Daliso, it says tomorrow we'll basically even create jokes for you, by
Yes.
the way. So make sure that you are there. Ticket prices for tomorrow, 10,000.
10,000. And then the one on Friday is 2,500 for at the back,
Yes.
up to 4,000 right at the front.
I like that. So very user friendly in terms
Very
of ticket
user-friendly.
pricing. And one more time, Daliso, how do we get those tickets, please, bruv?
You go to booking-kiosk.com, booking-kiosk.com. But if you forget that, literally go on any social media, put in Daliso Chaponda, and we've got links.
All right, and then right now the number to dial is 0719012600. We've got a pair of tickets to give away for Friday's performances, and all you've got to do is answer the very simple question that Daliso asks. Remember, he's got a show called Citizen of Nowhere.
Yes.
Brilliant. On the Beeb.
Yes.
Okay. But then he was here in Kenya during his formative years. He spent 3 years here, and he went to a certain school here in Nairobi in Kileleshwa. What school is that? Weber, 0719012600. Weber, Mambo?
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastical like a testicle. Say hi to Daliso. He can't hear you.
Daliso, how are you? How are you, bro?
Hold on, so that he can hear you. Say hi again.
Daliso.
Doing?
Hi, Daliso.
Okay.
How are you?
He's good, Baba.
Welcome to Kenya.
Thank you. So are you calling to answer the question? Are you free tickets?
Yes.
So, Baba.
You went to Braben International.
You said Daliso went to Braben International.
Yeah.
Hey, Weber, yeah, what? Yeah.
Because that is where the show is.
is.
That is where the show is. But no, that is not where I studied.
Braben is where the show is. Think of another school that's in. Are you Nairobi, Weber?
Yeah.
Think of another British system school in Kileleshwa. One.
Banda?
Hey, my friend, Weber. Umeweka nini ndani hiyo chai yako? Banda, the one on Magadi Road, is in Kileleshwa.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. That's where my brother went. I went to the other one.
It is not Hillcrest.
My brother went there.
It is not Braben.
Yeah.
But it is in Kileleshwa. Surely.
I'll
They
tell you
have
what's
no
funny
knowledge.
is when
Yes.
I mentioned it on British TV, and
Yes.
the clip went viral
Yes.
on TikTok with Kenyans.
Are you serious?
Kenyans didn't believe me. They're like, no, you didn't. And I was like, why would I lie? Why would I make up this story?
Hold up. Why did they not believe you went to...
Oh, because I told them that back then they taught me English, French, Latin, and no Swahili.
But that's
what
true.
the joke was.
No, but that is very true. Back then,
they
that's
were
all we were taught.
Yeah, and they were saying, no, here you have to learn Swahili. I was like,
No,
no,
we
you
were-
don't
we were-
understand.
no,
Those
we were not-
people,
yeah.
I actually felt it was a bit racist that you are in a country and you don't teach that language.
Yeah.
But I made it, it's got better now. Now they teach full curriculum. But my joke was about how the colonial people used to teach you only their culture, and even a dead language, Latin.
We were taught
like
Latin.
you're going to run into the Julius Caesar or the Pope, right? Where will it come useful in your life?
0719012600. Yes, when we went to school, we were not taught Swahili.
No, it's better now.
Where did Daliso go to school? Let's talk to you. Spice, good evening.
Good evening, Coach.
How
Tina
are
here. How are you?
Hey, Tina.
Yeah, I'm just from the village. I was listening to you guys.
It's been a minute, girl. How you doing? Say hi to Daliso.
Hi, Daliso. How are you?
Tina?
Yes.
Now, Tina,
Yeah.
please don't let the side down. Weber said Banda School, which is on Magadi Road, is in Kileleshwa.
Yeah, I'm still laughing at that.
And then he's also said that Daliso went to a Braeburn, but that's where the show is on Friday.
Yes.
Tina, that's where we want you to be on Furahi Day. You and somebody. But Tina,
Yes.
a girl baby, do not let me down in front of the guest.
Okay, so he went to Kenton College preparatory. It's in Kileleshwa.
And to Kenton College.
You are right.
Indeed.
I'm also glad that she's winning because she's got a very beautiful voice.
Tina Bass.
I don't know if the face matches the voice, but the voice, we're winning. We're winning.
Tina, you're saying you've told him.
I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
You're a huge fan and you're going to be there on Friday. Remember,
Yes,
he wants
definitely.
to. He's going to meet you. So what we're going to do, we're going to put you on hold, okay? And then our producer is going to get your number. And then we're going to sort it out between you, Daliso, and indeed our Michelle, so that we see you on Friday. And remember, he's going to meet you on Friday. Wink, wink. Okay, Tina?
Yes.
Who are you going with?
I'm taking my little sister who happens to be a staff there. So, yeah, she needs to,
Oh.
yeah. have some fun.
She's taking her little sister who happens to work at Braeburn as well.
Okay, that's fine. Like, as long as you don't, I don't know how little. Like, it's no, there's some
She's
adult
like a
content in
grown-up
the show.
little.
It's
I'm
not too
older
bad, but
than
I'm just
her.
saying, if little sister's 14,
No. Little sister works there.
oh, works there.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Then we're
Okay.
fine.
So
Yeah.
So Tina, congratulations
Yes.
to you, my darling. Yeah. We shall see you on Friday. Don't let this guy flirt with you for Nani, yeah?
Yes,
For too long.
I'm definitely
I was going to say,
Behave.
if she said she's coming with her husband, I'll say withdrawn tickets.
Hey, which husband?
Sawa, Tina. So keep it spicy on Friday, my darling.
See you.
Hold on. Don't usikate. So there we have it. Daliso.
Fantastic. This has been a pleasure.
Mr. Chaponda, we shall see you tomorrow night, my brother.
Excellent.
Listen, so after tomorrow, if you can do both, please, let's do both. Tomorrow, it's all about the Sankara Hotel. Start time, my brother, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Okay, ticket price is 10,000, Bob. One more time, where can we get them, bro?
You can get them booking-kiosk.com.
Sharp. And then otherwise, gate. If you get to the gate, ticket prices still same price.
Still the same.
And then alternative is Friday, Braeburn Theatre. Same time,
Yes,
brother?
same time.
7 p.m.
Yes.
And then we've got ticket prices from 2,500, Bob,
Yes.
up to 4,000, where you can see Delisa's crotch.
Yes. And particularly the other one, particularly the one
For Friday.
at Sankara.
Oh, sorry,
We
tomorrow.
are starting on white people time.
Okay.
It's actually will start on time.
Yeah, I like that. And then also, great things are in progress as far as Delisa is concerned. So just be looking out for him.
Your eyes open.
BBC, just follow his. Is it a podcast, brother?
There's a podcast. There's a podcast called Firing Blanks as
Okay,
well. So
I like that.
if you put in my name, there's all sorts of stuff because
that.